Hey, what's up guys, this is Louie coming at you with my first Resto Druid tutorial. So, first let me turn this music down a little bit. Oh, whatever. Anyways, let's start off with talents. Talents for Resto Druid are pretty easy. I guess you can't track it. Anyways, they're pretty easy to decide what to get. The first line, or the first row, is definitely going to be Displacer Beast. This is very useful, whether it's just to get away or to avoid CC. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. It could be used like a shadow melt kind of, if you see a polymorph coming. Well, I guess not polymorph for a druid because you can just shapeshift it, but whatever. You see a Cyclone coming maybe, just Displacer, or you got a warrior chasing you down, just kind of turn around, displace it the other way. A lot of people might say not to pick it up, only because, oh, it's only 20 yards on a 30-second cooldown, and dots are gonna take you out of stealth anyway. Well, yeah, dots are gonna probably take you out of stealth, but once you've played a Resto Druid and you know they're squishy, and maybe you're playing a team that has not very many peels, or maybe you're playing a team that has a lot of peels, and then maybe you could even go with Wild Charge, but for the time being, I would definitely say go with Displacer Beast, unless you're really confident with your team's peels. Now the next row is not optional. You have to have Nature's Swiftness. Not only can this be an instant heal when needed, it can be an instant Cyclone, an instant Root, Hibernate, it lists it there. It lists everything you can do. An additional 50% healing if it's healing. And it's mana free. It's cost free. Castable in all forms too. So yeah, definitely gonna get Nature's Swiftness. Doesn't really matter what you need it for, but you gotta have it. Next thing, we're gonna move into the third row here, and here you have a little bit more options, I would say, but Typhoon is probably the strongest spell right now. Second would probably be Fairy Swarm. I'm not sure if you can have this on multiple targets, but Cleanse being on a cooldown now, you can definitely keep people slowed like no other. Don't know how much mana it costs, maybe none. Okay. Now the reason I would usually pick Typhoon is because it's a good self-peel. It's good for setting up CC. It's good for knocking people off bridges, or if you're on the sewer, it can knock them off that ledge. I've done that so many times. And yeah, so I would definitely go with Typhoon or Fairy Swarm. No Mass Entanglement. The next one is another non-optional one you have to get, Tree of Life Form. Don't really need to explain that. The next one, it's kind of optional, but at the same time, it's really not. I would always get Mighty Bash because, yeah, it's a 50-second cooldown versus Disorienting Roar's 30-second cooldown, but Mighty Bash is a 5-second stun, which is a longer CC than Disorienting Roar, and it can be used on your kill target, it can be used on a healer, anything, whatever, it doesn't really matter, because it's a stun, and it won't break on damage, obviously, because stuns don't break on damage. Disorienting Roar, any damage caused will remove the effect, and it can be cleansed, so no, definitely no. You're gonna go with the Mighty Bash. Your Soul's Vortex? No. Just no. Maybe RPGs. The next one is really optional, between Nature's Vigil and Heart of the Wild. Most of the time I stick with Nature's Vigil just to have another cooldown in between my tree forms. The 20% healing might not seem like a lot, but it really is, whenever it comes down to it. But if you find yourself, maybe not getting as much trouble as you thought you would, you can always feel free to switch to Heart of the Wild. I actually do that sometimes in twos. I actually do that a lot of the times in twos, if I think we're going to be having trouble killing this team with the healer. You actually do crazy amount of damage. In Cat form, you do a lot of damage with Moonfire and Wrath. So yeah, these two are really optional. I'll go over the line one more time. You're going to go get Displacer's Beast for sure, no Wild Charge. You're going to go Nature's Swiftness for sure, Typhoon or Fairy Swarm, Tree Form for sure, Mighty Bash for sure, and Nature's Vigil or Heart of the Wild. Those should be your talents. Now we'll go to Glyphs. The only glyph that is really important, I think, will be Glyph of Life Loom. You should have that. Because let's say you have 3 stacks on you, they try to hard switch. I know they used to do that all the time. Back in Kata, that would be their main goal. Just do this, and the target instantly has however many you had. So you have 3 on you, you change it to your teammate, and boom, he's got 3 instantly. Glyph of Regrowth. This one gave me a headache trying to decide whether to get this or not. I ended up deciding to get it. 40% additional crit. It will never not crit. Never. It will always crit. But you lose the periodic component. But I'm thinking, you know, the periodic healing of this, it's really not a lot. It's only like 2 seconds, you know. So, still gonna go with the 100% crit chance. And then I have Glyph of Blooming, which is a must-have. I don't really need well, okay. So it increases the healing of your life when it expires by 50%, which is a lot. You know, I'm getting like 200k crits by that. The duration is reduced by 5, which is good. It's saying but it's actually good for this, because that means it's gonna run out faster. And you can't refresh it with your casting heals anymore, which is also good because it's gonna tick off more, you know. You want this to be ending a lot and recasting it. It doesn't cost a lot, you know, Lifeline doesn't cost a lot of mana, and it's a huge heal. So Glyph of Blooming is a definite yes. These are all 100% optional. There's not a single one that helps. Alright, now let's go over what you might need to know in some arenas just right off the bat if you're just hopping in there. Actually, I skipped something. Let's go into gear and stat priorities. So the first stat priority we're going to go into will be PvP resilience, followed by intellect, followed by PvP power, followed by haste, and then mastery, and then crit. But yeah, you need a lot of haste. I don't have enough haste. I only have 11%. You know, I haven't done all my reforging I need to do yet, but after I'm pretty close to full malevolent. After I get all my malevolent gear, I'll definitely be trying to get that up to about 15 or something % haste. You know, I don't know what the average is for Resto Druid right now, but yeah. Your hit chance, you shouldn't have to worry about that. Gems. Okay, so for your meta, I would go 216 intellect and reduce silence duration. This gem is wrong actually. For all yellows, I would go straight 320 PvP resilience. For reds, I would go for reds or for, yeah, this is only for reds actually. 80 intellect, 160 PvP resilience for sure. All your reds, and again 320 on the yellow socket. For purples, you're gonna go 80 intellect, 160 PvP power. For blues, you're gonna go 80 intellect, 160 PvP power. I need to change that one out, and I need to get a new belt too. Okay, now I need to trade that red socket, and I need to trade that. Then another 320 PvP power right there. And that is it for your stat priority. Now we'll go into things that you might want to know in Arena. So there's a couple things we need to go over. When you're playing a Resto Druid, a lot of the time you're not just going to be sitting there healing, because that's not what a Resto Druid is. If you want that, you need to go play a Holy Paladin or a Resto Shaman. The thing that makes Resto Druid stand out from other classes is their ability to have mass crowd control and to really change the game, the outcome of the game, not by their really big heals, but by all their cooldowns they have. Yeah, well, not even cooldowns, but just all their control abilities. Start off with the most obvious one, Cyclone. So you definitely want to make a focus Cyclone macro if you don't already have this. Ignore all my other macros. I haven't really gone through this yet. This is your focus Cyclone macro. / cast, open brackets, target equals focus, close brackets, Cyclone. Simple as that. That is a must-have, and yeah. So if you don't know what a focus target is, you need to download Gladius first of all. It's an add-on that'll bring up all your arena target frames right here. You need to right-click on whichever one you want to focus, and then whenever you Cyclone, you don't have to be targeting them, and it will Cyclone them. So let's say this guy's dropping exactly life looms, and you know you're gonna need a regrowth, but you're about to score another kill, but you're about to score a kill or something. You need to Cyclone the healer. So you quickly just, you already have them focused. You just do your focus Cyclone macro, keybind it to whatever you need to, and then without having to change targets at all, just switch back to your regrowth. Alright, now for your bash, your mighty bash, I wouldn't even worry about focus macroing that, because you're gonna have to be close to the target anyways, and I'll usually just run up and click them and do it. But if you want to, yeah, you could definitely do a focus macro with that, and it would be the same like this, and just change the spell at the end to mighty bash. Typhoon. When to use Typhoon? This could be used as an offensive or defensive cooldown, really. I usually use it as a defensive. No, that's not true. I use it about 50-50, because Humblade's Edge Arena, we're all fighting on the bridge. I see the healer kind of close to the edge. Boom. Typhoon, he's gone. He's off the edge. And you can root him down there. He's just going to cleanse himself, but cleanse has a cooldown now, so he's wasted to cleanse. Or you can use it defensively. You're getting chased by a warrior on the sewers. You chase him around the box. Boom. Turn around and shoot him off. The warrior's stuck down there now. I actually played with a bad hunter one time, and he would constantly miss his traps, and at least on 3 or 4 occasions I was able to Typhoon who he was trying to trap. I was able to Typhoon him into the trap, and they would get frozen from the trap, and it won't even break it because it doesn't do any damage now. So you can do that while they're stunned or whatever. Alright, next cooldown, hopefully you're a Night Elf, I don't know why you'd pick anything else, is Shadow Melt. Shadow Melt, Shadow Melt, Shadow Melt. This is an awesome ability, and it's underused in low-rated arenas. Let's say you're stuck in a Frost Nova, and maybe just trying to, I don't know, shatter you, whatever. Boom, Shadow Melt. Not only does it drop targets, it drops target, focus, and in that time, you're going to be able to get out of that Frost Nova before she can even get anything, except for maybe a little Frost Lance, Ice Lance, whatever it is. And same thing goes for if you're going to get a Cyclone. Shadow Meld not only does it drop focus, but it's going to drop target, and a Cyclone will get you. Repentance, whatever you want. You will get taken out of stealth if you have dot on you or whatever. So, but if you use it, it's still going to drop target, even if you go in stealth for like 0.1 seconds. I'll have to join it later. Alright, next thing is Iron Bark. Once you get your 4 set here, it reduces the cooldown by 90 seconds. This thing is up every 30 seconds. You need to use the shit out of that. Use it all the time. It's 20% damage reduction, and it's OP. Nature's Grasp, definitely use that. It's gonna root them. I would get the Glyph. Never mind. Well, okay, yeah, if you don't like the Critical Strike, then I would replace it with the Nature's Grasp, but I do like the Critical Strike. Anyways, it's only a 1 minute cooldown. It's not really, gonna take a while. Bark Skin, you just kind of use that with your Iron Bark if you're gonna burst it on. It's 40% damage reduction. I'll have to tell them in a minute. Alright. Don't forget about your Symbiosis. tree form, use your Nature's Vigil in between tree form cooldowns. Unless your team is just getting completely shit on right there, then you're going to pop both of them at the same time and get some big heals. Don't spam this too much, you know, you're going to go if you're in Tree of Life. Should be about it. If you need anything else, just leave it in the comments and I'll definitely get to it and make a video about that too. So, thanks for watching. This is Louie from Louie Gaming, and I hope you enjoyed the video and maybe I helped out. Thanks. Subscribe, like,